Hello? Testing? Can you hear me? Yeah. Going? Going through? Okay. Okay, we are about to begin with our service. So, good evening. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I am Rabbi Anibal Mas, and my colleague, Rabbi Matthew Leibel, and I would like to welcome you all to Congregation Shari Zedek. And I would like to ask you, all of you, one question. Have you ever stopped to think what the word Jew means? You see, there is a verse in the book of Genesis talking about our mother Leah, one of Jacob's wives, who had just given birth and names her child. And she said, and the Torah says, and she conceived again and bore a son. And she said, this time I will thank in Hebrew, Uda, the Lord. Therefore, she named him Judah. So the word Jew comes from the name Judah, which means thanks. Here we can see how the etymology and the essence of a Jew is to be thankful. I feel that our presence here together tonight is an excellent testimony of this sentiment. Not only are we gathered to honor and celebrate Shabbat, but this Shabbat is elevated to an even greater height tonight. We are here to honor, celebrate, and in fact, give thanks to those who fought so hard, sacrificed so much, and the many who gave their lives so that we might live in this incredible, free country. So, I would like to invite you all now to rise for the presentation of the colors. We thank the veterans from the General Monash, Legion 115 of the Royal Canadian Legion. Thank you very much. You may be seated. So, we are incredibly blessed to have the grade 6 from Great Academy of Jewish Education to lead us in the Kabbalat Shabbat service this evening, accompanied by their music teacher, More David Vamos. So I invite all the kids to come forward to take their places on the bima, and then you will understand why I have to move to this corner of the sanctuary. How wonderful to celebrate Shabbat together. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Our God and God of our ancestors, we ask your blessing upon our country and upon the leaders of our nation and of our communities. Inspire all who lead and serve to conduct their affairs honorably. May peace and security, happiness and prosperity, right and freedom abide among us. Unite the inhabitants of our country, of all backgrounds and creeds, so that we may banish hatred and bigotry, safeguard our noblest ideals, and preserve those institutions which nurture liberty. May this land, under your providence, be an influence for good throughout the world, helping to unite all peoples in peace and freedom, and bringing closer to fulfillment the visions of your prophets. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. For the work of righteousness shall be peace, and the effect of righteousness calm and confidence forever. And let us say, Amen. So, we are about to begin with our Kabbalah Shabbat with a series of psalms representing the 6 days of the week before Shabbat. We will begin this selection of Tehillim on page 22 of the blue Sidurim that you should have in front of you. They look like this, the Sidur Chadash, page 22, Lechun Eranena, and immediately after, Ismechu Hashemayim on page 24. Page 28, praise Adonai with instruments and the voice of song. Zamru Adonai, middle of page 28. The Lecha Dodi is a poem consisting of 9 verses composed by Rabbi Shlomo Halevi Alkabetz in the 1500s, based on quotes of the Bible and the Talmud, presenting the story of a lover being reunited with his beloved. In reality, it's about the Jewish people finding their way back to God after a week of disconnection, stress, and worries. On Shabbat, we re-encounter the peace of trusting in God. L'chadodi begins on page 38, and we are going to sing verses 1, 2, 3, 5, and 9. And when we reach the 9th verse, I will give you a sign to stand and to face the door to symbolically receive the Shabbat as a bride when the bride enters to a sanctuary to stand under the chuppah. So page 38, the L'chadodi.
שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי הרך ומאורי, אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, ובואנה אליי בלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה.
Please rise.
הנה שבת
Let's face the entrance.
בואי בשלום עצרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, טובנו לים סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי
לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. Please remain standing. because while the Kabbalat Shabbat part of our service is now over, we are going to continue with the Ma'ariv service, the evening service. And we begin blessing the name of God. We begin the service blessing the name of God, the source of blessing, with the Baruch Hu, page 50. You may be seated. In the next section, we have two blessings before the recitation of the Shema Israel and two blessings after the Shema Israel. On the first two blessings, we recognize that God is the creator of the world. And on the last two blessings, we express our faith that there will be a day where the world will be redeemed and there will be perfect peace on earth. Let's read together the first blessing before the Shema Israel in Hebrew, page 50. Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher tivaro ma'ariv aravim bechachma potach she'arim u'bizmora משנה עזים ומחליף את הזמנים ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה גולל אור מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור. ומעביר יום ומעביר לילה ומעביר בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו אחד וקיים תמיד אוהבינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב העריב. Amen. The second blessing before the Shema Ahavat Olam, page 52. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אתה, עמך the Shema Israel is one of the only two prayers that are specifically commanded in the Torah. The other one is, by the way, the Birkat Hamazon, the grace after meals. So I would like to invite you now to cover your eyes, to sing together the Shema Israel, the affirmation of God's singularity and kingship on page 54. We are going to continue now with our service on page 60. Almost bottom of the page, we have this beautiful song of victory, the Micha Mocha. These words were said by the Israelites after they crossed the Red Sea. They were escaping from the Egyptians. They couldn't cross the Red Sea. They felt trapped. The last minute, the Red Sea split. They walked through, and their lives were spared. They could continue towards their destiny, towards the promised land. And I feel every time I read this prayer that it's talking to us. Every day of our lives, we have challenges. We have things that we believe we cannot cross, we cannot go through. We feel trapped. But we have to have the same mindset that the Israelites had at the time. They had faith that if they had a destiny to fulfill, somehow they were going to make it through. And indeed, it happened. Last minute, the Red Sea split, and they made it through. And they sang a song of thanksgiving to God. Micha Mocha, page 60.
Oh, say
נאמר כפני יעקב וגאלום יד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Please rise for Veshambru, page 64, this beautiful prayer. It's actually a section of the Torah that serves as a reminder of the importance of observing Shabbat, the seventh day of the week. Page 64. Please remain standing for the Hatzi Kaddish, page 66. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב וימהרו אמן. יש מרבה מבורך לעלם ולעולמי עלמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמדקו תשדריכו לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה ושבקתה ונחמתה דאמירם בעלמא ואימרו 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 And please remain standing for the silent Amidah or silent prayer. This is a very special time, very special moment of the service. I would like to extend an invitation to you to make of this moment a special moment for you. because the Amida is the time where we stand in front of our Creator and we have a one-on-one dialogue with God. So this is the thing. The rabbis, of course, wrote the text that you all have in your books. But if you feel that that text does not speak to you, you cannot relate to that text for any reason. Maybe the language is too complex. You've never done it before. Doesn't matter. Take the time to speak to God in your own words. So we're all going to have the time to have our own private, silent prayer. If you are using the Siddur, the Amidah could be found from pages 68 to 76. Let's take a time to pray together silently. Oh, di mana? Once you finish your prayer, please be seated. Shalom Rab, page 74. Please rise for the Kiddush, the sanctification of Shabbat through a cup of wine, page 90. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodesho be'ava u'v'ratzon inchilanu zikaron lemase v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh zacher litziat mitzrayim ki banu bacharta veotanu kidashta mikol העמים ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. חיים. And please remain standing for Aleinu, page 118. You may be seated. And next, as we begin to transition into the memorial part of the service, we have two beautiful songs by the grade sixes of Gray Academy of Jewish Education that will serve as an introduction to the memorial part of the service. The two songs are Where Have All the Flowers Gone? And immediately after, a wonderful choral arrangement of the famous poem In Flanders Fields. Let's enjoy it together.
Where have all
Thank you so much, kids. You were amazing. Yesher Kochechem. And we are so incredibly honored to have you here leading this service. You see, I was just thinking that if I'm ever worried about the future of the Jewish people in Winnipeg, all I have to do is to remember this night. And then I can go to sleep and have the best sleep ever because we are in good hands. Thank you so much for leading our service. And you can take a well-deserved rest as I invite my colleague, Rabbi Matthew Leibel, to continue leading us in the next section of the service. Thank you.
We also want to acknowledge the teachers in grade 6, Gray Academy of Jewish Education, Maureen Pollock, Jan Allen, Sherry Wolf-Elazar, and Sharona Kravitz. As well, Principal Joyce Kerr, and of course, music teacher and tonight's accompanist, More David Vamus. As well to Rabbi Nibal Mas, Esher Koach to you as well for leading us through such a powerful start to this Shabbat. We have now transitioned into the memorial service. And after that stirring and powerful rendition of In Flanders Fields, we will now hear it read in 6 different languages by various members of the grade 6 class. We'll call them up by language, but first, to provide an intro to the poem written by Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae, Jonathan, and Sophia.
In 1915, John McCrae was a doctor serving with the Canadian Armed Forces. His best friend was killed and buried in a grave decorated with only a simple wooden cross. Wild poppies were already blooming between the crosses that marked the graves of those who were killed in battle.
Unable to help his friend or any of the other soldiers who died, he decided to take out a piece of paper and write the poem In Flanders Fields. He was so deeply moved by what he saw in northern France that he hoped the poem would help people remember the sacrifices the soldiers made for us. John McCrae died shortly after writing the poem. You will now hear the poem In Flanders Fields in several different languages.
First, we have English. Michelle, Emily, and Carolina.
In Flanders Fields. In Flanders Fields the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row, the marketplace, and in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly scarce heard amid the guns below.
We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields.
Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Fields.
Next in Russian, Tim, Yoni, and Nikita.
В полях Фландрии цветут маки, в рядах между крестами. Они могилы наши отметки, а в небе жаворонки свищут смело парят. Изредка слышно их пение среди стрельбы внизу.
Мы сегодня медуцы. Еще недавно жили были, а свет встречались и любовались сиянием заката. А сегодня мы мертвы, лежим в полях Фландрии. Ты перемей вражду наш с врагом. Тебе с упавших наших рук бросаем факел. Но коли утратишь веру в нас, тех, кто умер, в полях Фландрии среди маков.
In Mandarin, Nadia.
在弗兰德斯，在弗兰德斯战场上，罂粟花随风盛放。十字架林立的目的，就是我们居住的地方。云雀仍在天空中勇敢歌唱翱翔，你却无法听见，只因枪声太响。不久前，我们暂时沙场，我们曾强勉于弗兰德斯。继续与敌人战斗吧，从我们垂下的手中接过火炬，并把它高高举起。如果你背弃了我们的遗愿，我们也不会安息。即使罂粟花开满了弗兰德斯。
Now we have Hebrew. Miko, Itai, and Shelley.
בשדות פלנדריה הפרגים נושבים, בין הקברים שורה אחרי שורה. הם מסמנים את המקום שלנו, ובשמיים האפונים עדיין בעומס שרים, עפים. אך למטה בין הרובים אותם לא שומעים.
אנחנו המתים. לפני מספר ימים היינו בחיים. הרגשנו את השחר, ראינו את השקיעה, אהבנו ואהבו אותנו, ועכשיו אנחנו שוכבים בשדות פלנדריה.
קחו את הריב שלנו עם המתים. קחו את הריב שלנו עם השונאים, אנחנו נותנים לכם את הלפיד מהידיים הכושלות, ושלכם להחזיק אותו גבוה. אם תשברו אמונה איתנו שמתים, אנחנו לא נשען, אפילו אם הפרגים גדלים בשדות פלנדריה.
Our fifth language is Spanish. Julie, Sophie, and Daniel.
En los campos de Flanders las amapolas se fundan, entre las cruces hilera a hilera. Es la marca de nuestro sitio y en el cielo. Las alondras lanzando a un viento grito vuelan, sin que nadie las siente aquí entre en las cañonas.
Muertos estamos. Días antes vivimos, sentimos el amanecer, vimos crepúsculos rojizos, amamos y fuimos amados, y ahora reposamos en los campos de Flanders.
Retomemos nuestra lucha con el enemigo. De nuestras inertes manos te lanzamos la antorcha. Es ahora tu tarea mantenerla bien alta. Si nos traicionas a nosotros que dimos la vida, nunca descansaremos, aunque las amapolas crezcan en los campos de Flanders.
And finally in French, Jonathan, Rachel, and Talia.
Au champ d'honneur, les coquelicots sont passés mais de loin en l'eau. Auprès de quoi et dans l'espace, les alouettes devenues lasses. Mais le chant au sifflement des obéissés.
Nous sommes morts. Nous qui songeons la vie encore. À nos parents, à nos amis. C'est nous qui reposons ici, au champ d'honneur.
À vous, gens de s'abuser, à vous de porter l'oriflamme et de garder au fond de l'âme, et goût de vivre en liberté. Excepté la défection, les coquelicots se faneront au champ d'honneur.
To all of our readers, thank you, Sheshi, Toda, Gracias, Merci. How do you say thank you in Russian? What they said. an amazing job and a really special way of honoring the diversity of not just our community, but of our school. Now for something even more powerful. We're honored to have with us tonight two ladies who will now play an important role in our service. I invite Dora Rosenbaum to come forward, as well as Maureen Wiseman. Dora will be reading for us the names of our departed comrades, while Maureen honors them, dropping poppies as names are read.
Cadet Harry Kaplan, Sergeant Albert Levinson, Private Meyer Lexer, Lieutenant Alan Leon, Private Nathan Perlis, Private Max Roden, Cadet Hy Silverstein, Private Samuel Warshawski, World War II, Warrant Officer Abraham Arbor, Military Cross, Sergeant Yale Berlin, Private Louis Blott, Rifleman Yudi Brownstone, Flight Sergeant Morris Callan, Fusilier Ennis Harloff, Flight Officer James Chess, G.S. Clifford, Lieutenant Lawrence Cohn, Warrant Officer Sidney Cohn, Trooper Dave Kramer, Warrant Officer Samuel Donan, N.M. Droman, Private William Dubinsky, Squadron Leader Philip Foster, Rifleman Israel Friedman, Sergeant Pilot Louis Garman, Sergeant Joe Gertel, A.J. Gilman, Captain Max Golden, Jaime Greenberg, Petty Officer Samuel Grossman, Flying Officer R.W. Harrison, Flight Sergeant Donald Herman, Petty Officer Murray Kesselman, Sergeant Kimmel, Warrant Officer L.M. Laxer, Pilot Officer Jack Lupinski, Captain Harry Morantz, Flying Officer Mo Martyr, Pilot Officer Melvin Myers, Private Morris Miller, Lieutenant Harry Niznik, Gunner Shia Olfman, Leading Aircraftman Maxwell Orshansky, Trooper Levi Paul, Private Louis Paul, Flying Officer Sam Peshet, Flying Officer Hyman Rapkin, Flying Officer Harry Ratner, Sergeant Frank Rich, Leading Aircraftman Hyman Rifkin, Captain Hyman Rosenthal, Flight Sergeant Irvin Rothstein, Flight Lieutenant Hector Rubin, Distinguished Flying Cross, Private Aaron Sablet, Major John Sector, Rifleman Harry Siegel, Private B.Z. Shanitz, Captain Sam Shanitz, Telegrapher Sidney Scheinwald, Flying Officer Cliff Schneer, Rifleman Joseph Short, Flight Sergeant David Stitz, Flying Officer Sam Schusterov, Pilot Officer Robert Serlick, Lieutenant Mort Sorno, Flying Officer Joseph Spector, Private William Stein, Pilot Officer Jaime Steinberg, Pilot Officer Max Stern, M. Stillman, Flying Officer Max Sukhov, Warrant Officer Jack Tass, Flying Officer Leon Titov, Flying Officer Henry Vanular, Private Gordon Vinsky, Sergeant Pilot Theodore Wolch, Lance Corporal Lon Walensky, Warrant Officer Isidor Udell, Private Hyman Yuffie, Flight Sergeant Max Stephen, Israeli War, Flight Sergeant Willie Fisher, and Len Fishett.
Thank you, Dora, and thank you, Maureen. The names of the Jewish casualties of World War I, World War II, and the Israeli War can also be found in your programs. We now invite you to rise for the last post. Please remain standing for a minute of silence. Please be seated. We thank our trumpeter this evening, Matthew Neufeld. And now we call upon Comrade Gerald Reutelman, who will read for us an excerpt from For the Fallen by Robert Lawrence Binyon.
They shall grow not old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning we will remember them.
We will remember them. Our thanks to Comrade Gerald Reutelman. It's my honor to call Rabbi Ani Balmas to come back and lead us in the memorial prayer, the El Malei Rachamim. And again, we ask you, please rise.
El Malei Rachamim Shochem B'meroimim Hametzeh menucha nechona tachat kanfei hashechina b'ma'alot kedoshim kedoshim uteorim כזויר הרקיע מזהירים לנשמות הקדושים שנפלו במלחמתם ומסרו נפשם על קדושת השם העם והארץ. בעבור שאנו מתפללים לעילוי נשמותיהם בגן עדן
לכם ולרחמים. יסתירם בסדר כנפיו לעולמים. וצרור בצרור החיים, החיים את נשמתם. אדוני ונחלתם, וינוחו בשלום על משכבם, ונאמר אמן.
And if you'll join with me in the words, hallowed by tradition and time, sanctifying God's name, of the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, Ba'gala uv'izman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam ulamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal Shemei dekudsha berichu le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata b'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabbah min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. May the source of peace and harmony on high bring peace and harmony to us and to all Israel, and again together let us say, Amen. You may be seated. We're so honored and thankful to have this ceremony here this evening at Congregation Sheretz Zedek, and that all of you have joined us. We're especially grateful to the students of grade 6 class from Gray Academy of Jewish Education. We invite them to come back as they'll be leading us to conclude our service in Shalom Aleichem and Blowing in the Wind. After the service, please join us for refreshments in the auditorium generously sponsored by the Sheretz Zedek Sisterhood. On page 16 of the blue Sidurim Chadash, Shalom Aleichem. Amazing. Thank you to the grade 6 students from Gray Academy of Jewish Education. We invite everyone, please rise. Sergeant at Arms, please retire the colors. Good night, everyone. Thank you again for coming. Please stay for refreshments, and Shabbat Shalom.